Hey, what's up, man?
Yes, what's up, my man?
How are you?
Great, brother. You?
Good, good.
You're looking great. Where are you?
I'm in Phuket, Thailand, in my studio.
Ah, lovely, lovely. I've been there last year. Damn, it's
Yeah,
crazy, crazy experience.
locked down now, so
So what do you do? Do you live there
yeah,
or
full
live?
time.
How long?
10 years now, so a long time.
Wow, that is a long time. How old are you?
41.
Ah, okay. I'm
No,
30. I saw you know Hollywood Hino.
yeah, Hollywood, he was on the podcast.
Ah, on your podcast.
Yeah, he was in studio here.
Nice. So you have a proper podcast. You're doing this regularly.
Yeah, yeah, I'm doing like 2 episodes a week, 2 to 3 episodes a week.
Why you do this?
The podcast is fun for me, and it's good having conversations with good, interesting people. It's advertising my businesses as well. Everything evolves around the sport that I've been a part of for 30 years, and my business as well here in Phuket. So it's just kind of like it makes a lot of sense on all angles. But I just enjoy doing it, and it's a passion. I think what makes people successful at what they do is when work ethic meets passion to apply it. And I think that's what you got to have. You got to have good work ethic, but you can take the hardest working person in the world and give them a job they don't want to do, and they're not going to do it very well, and they're not going to like doing it, and they're probably not going to look like they have work ethic. You take a person with good work ethic and you give him a passionate job that he likes and that he's passionate about, that he loves, he's going to kill it. And so for me, it's like, I try to find things to do that are passionate to me. Passion's number one, because then it doesn't feel like work, and I can do it around the clock, and I'm not trying to go watch TV and watch movies and go do other things. Like, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I genuinely look forward to coming in this room and talking to all these great people and having fun. And it's not money based. It's not fame based. It's not, I had my career in the UFC and did all that. It's based on just having fun, and it's growing very fast. And I think it's because of the passion and because of my reasoning. I'm not trying to rush it or stress out over money and trying to be so
Exactly.
fast. And same thing with business. You just got to find something you're passionate about, and then just keep chipping away at it every day, just more and more. And then
Because everybody's saying like you got to go that extra mile, you got to do that one last rep. But man, like the real champions know that it's not about the one last extra mile and the last rep. It's when it starts hurting, that's when it really fucking counts, right?
yeah,
So if you don't have freaking passion, man, yeah, I know how it is. How to find passion? Okay, you and me, we know, but how did you find your passion?
everybody's different, so it depends on, everybody has a passion, and it's about finding it. And I think people chase money and they chase fame before they chase fashion, right? And so, or passion. Does it say fashion?
Yeah, you did.
I'll add to the mix. They chase money, fame, and fashion before they change or chase passion, and that's the problem, because you look at things like, people like, say, trading, for instance. They'll know nothing about trading, but they'll watch these
Yeah,
videos. Say, I'm going to be a trader because I can live this
make a lot of
lifestyle,
money.
or make all this money and have these yachts and girls and all these parties and go to all these countries. But if they're not passionate about trading, and they're not going to sit and learn all the things they need to know about trading to be successful enough to do those things, like those guys that are living that lifestyle. So I think if you sit down and figure out what your passion is, what is it that you like to do for the rest of your life, like that would make you happy if you made no money. But if, say, you lived in a world where you could make enough money to get by, have a happy life, what kind of work would make you happy? And then when you find that, you just go tenfold and go all in and try to do the best you can. I mean, we live in a world right now with social media and so many opportunities for everyone, that anybody can start an Instagram page,
Yeah.
and start a YouTube channel. So when you can be passionate about golf and hate golf, but if you're passionate about it, you can start a podcast and talk about it and follow it and interview golf players, and you can become successful in golf even though you can't play golf. So it's like you have so much opportunity, but you got to have that passion. And for me,
Y-
finding gym and building the successes is passion.
You know what I figure out is keeping most of the people away, and has been keeping me away from finding my true passions. Like you said, first is chasing money. This is the biggest mistake. First we go and say, hey, what makes a lot of money? Let's do that,
Right.
instead of finding. And the second one is people people would say, hey, I'm gonna do something, but then not go hard enough at it. So like we sometimes have these masterminds and stuff, and a lot of these podcasts, and usually I'm asking questions, but when they ask me, I say wherever you are, doesn't matter how successful or unsuccessful you are, it's just like tenfold, like you said, 10x whatever you're doing on all fucking fronts. Because I'm a very black and white guy. I cannot be like gray, you know. I'm like, we're doing this or we're not doing this. But if we're doing this, bro, that is like we're doing everything 10x. Because if you don't really go hard on anything, you don't get to the point where you can say, hey, you know, I'm kind of good at this. This is kind of fun, you know. Because first is beginner's luck when everybody gets something out of it and they're all excited, but then it's like crash. Oh my God, now we got to go to work. Now we got to do this shit. And a lot of it successful people, I say also go hard on the stuff that you don't like. Because what if you don't like it just because you've been pushing it a little bit on the side? It was not top priority. You were not 10xing on that, and you don't even know that that's your passion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why you have to have passion, because then that hard work that you do every day, like you hear these successful people and they talk about their hours that they put in, and people want to focus on that versus the work that they're doing. So they hear that like certain people that are successful, you know, they work 14 hours a day, I sleep 4 hours a night, all this kind of stuff, right? And they feel like, okay, well then I got to work that hard, but they're not focusing on the fact that like what they're working on is their passion. Like for me, for instance, I'm working all the time, but it's not necessarily emails or working deals or you know, doing things specifically what you would consider work. Maybe it's going over media, marketing, coming up with ideas for videos and content for the gym and for our promotion, coming up with stuff for social media, watching stuff like what you're saying, 10x, like Grant Cardone stuff and Gary Vee, and you know, but that's still work. And so,
but if you ask my sister, sorry to interrupt you, but if you ask, let's say my sister, she would tell exactly this is work. You know, it's so different from people to people, right? For you, it's passion. For you, it's nice. For me, it's also nice to react to videos and shoot a video.
It's fun, and you gotta have passion for it. Absolutely. And like you said, like guys like Grant Cardone, and I mentioned him because you said 10x multiple times. You know, guys like that, they're flying around all the time. And if you watch guys like him and The Rock and guys like Gary Vee, like you start wondering, like, how do these guys have the energy to do so much stuff all the time? But look at how passionate they are. It's not fake. They're not acting 24 hours a day.
Nah.
Grant Cardone loves what he does. He loves flying in his private jet and making those videos, and he loves doing the 10x seminars and putting on these huge events with celebrities and stuff. Gary Vee loves putting out that content and going around and speaking. You know, The Rock loves doing film, and he loves doing interviews. He loves doing all this kind of stuff. So that's passion. That's a different type of work than when you're trying to chase something that you're not passionate about and you're just grinding, you know, what I would consider the grind, the non-passion.
Yeah. But you mentioned the Grant Cardone. He, I don't know if you know, but he hated sales. But now he's the best guy in sales, just because he fucking went hard and discovered that, you know, if he's, because you know what I believe in? Some people just find their passion, right? Like, I don't know, for you probably, you know, seeing you and your Instagram, probably your first passion was fighting, right? I didn't have nothing. For me, it was racing cars, but my family didn't have enough money for that, right? But then through just trying so many new stuff, I figure out that, you know, my passion is actually talking to people. My passion is teaching somebody something. Then I was, let's say, constantly trying teaching the wrong people, you know, just like you would be pushing girls that now they need to fight real hard without the gloves, you know, and all the people around me was telling me like, why am I so pushy all the time and stuff like this? Versus now that I have this company, I'm teaching all day long, which is biggest paradox, because not teaching, like mentoring and performance coaching, right? But now people hear it and they take it, and I'm successful at it. So this only happened, and I discovered this. I was network marketing all my life because I started achieving my full potential. Right. So I used to drink all the time, took a lot of drugs, you know, party life. You're a professional athlete. For you, it's like, this is completely no-go. I know how it is, but like for me, that was my life, because we didn't have to work a lot for money. So I was always like, no, you should not be working for money, which was kind of true, but you know, still you have to put the effort in, still you have to make the right moves. You got to be, you know, passionate about it. And I feel my passion is coming from achieving true potential. When I stopped drinking, when I started working out twice a day, when I started, you know, when I would be running, I would be thinking, I'm going to run to that corner. That's my first goal. That's my goal. But then when I would get to that corner, I would be like, okay, I got this far. Let's push a little bit more.
Right.
And from these little pushes, more, I figured out, hey, I can do this. I can do this. I can do more. I can do more. And now I'm super passionate. I didn't work out for 6 years. Now for a year and a half, I work twice a day. You cannot see me skip it.
Yeah.
Achieving true potential.
And you were going back on, or let's go back to where you were talking about passion, like finding your passion. This is something that Gary Vee preaches a lot. And he talks about a lot of people thinking they're too old, and everyone's so worried about how old you are when you start and when you should get started. But, you know, Gary Vee, his big thing is like, you know, spend time finding your passion. So when you're in your 20s, even into your 30s, just try everything. You know, like you said, sometimes you don't know your passion. Sometimes you don't know what you want. For me, it was kind of like, I fell into it, and it was a quick thing for me. But so I can't relate to a lot of people that grew up in a different lifestyle. But
you were lucky, yeah.
I can imagine that sometimes maybe it does take a while to find something you're passionate about and very passionate about, and then just keep trying things. And eventually, there's got to be something that you're going to like. And the cool thing about in the world that we live in is when you find that one thing that you like and that you're passionate about, you can form a business around it. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be video. I was growing up, there was no like career in video games, and kids playing video games like you're wasting time. You know, what are you doing? You're crazy. There's no future in that. Now they're making $2 million, $3 million, $5 million. Ninjas like doing 18, 19 million a year, you know, in video games. So like you can create a business around it now. So it's like now the opportunities are endless for people. So it's like passion, create a business around it. Use what you can, study like you're talking about Grant Cardone and Gary Vee and all the people that relate to. They're all different, obviously. And then just go for it. Like you said, tenfold, 10x, just push everything forward. Don't stop.
How did you get so lucky that you find your, when did you find your passion? That, you know, the first thing.
I watched a movie, The Karate Kid, when I was like a little kid, right? When I was young, I watched The Karate Kid and Ralph Macchio, and like, that movie like just summed everything up for me, because like it's like, you know, you beat up a bad dude and you get a girl, and I'm like, that to me was like perfect. That's what I want. I want to be the dude that can beat somebody up if I have to, but I'm not like a troublemaker. It's alpha, right? And then, you know, get the girl, have a good life, and you know, so that kind of was the spark. I got into like Taekwondo after that. Started in the martial arts, and then just through Taekwondo, like that's where I found the passion. I fell in love with. So I guess the movie was kind of just like, you know, like anybody watches a movie and you watch Top Gun, you want to be a fighter pilot.
Yeah,
so
you get inspired. Yeah.
Passionate about martial arts. I just thought it was cool because Ralph Macchio did it. That lit the spark. Then once I got into martial arts, trained and experienced it, it just happened to be my passion. You know, competing.
Were you good at it immediately?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't good. No, I wouldn't say I was good at it, but I felt confident that I could be. And I think that's what kept me going. I think if I went in it and I was really good, that probably would have stopped that passion, because I would have felt too talented or too able to overcome that. It wouldn't seem like as big of a challenge. So
yeah, okay, been there, done that. What's next?
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough, and I saw a huge challenge that used all of my body and all of my mind. And I was like, how does it get any better than that? You know, you're taking two guys and you're putting them against each other, and they have to use their bodies and their minds to fight. It's like human kinetic chess. So to me, that was just so attractive to be able to defeat somebody at this game, at this challenge, at this you know, this thing. And it became a passion to learn how to defeat this person. You know, so I'm like a strategist. I think a lot, and so it just became a passion. I want to learn how to beat everyone all the way until I get to the top, and then, you know, hopefully become successful and build a name for myself, and then create more things for myself through this. And that's where I started.
And then get to the top 15 times.
Yeah, and then get to the next thing. Wow. I know is fighting in Taekwondo in like high school rodeo arenas, high school auditoriums into rodeo arenas on the weekends, where like, you know, there's like livestock and stuff. And then like next thing you know, I'm in the UFC and I'm fighting like, you know, in front of 25,000 people live and on paper. And it's like, wow, you know, like it moves fast, you know, it moves fast when you get into something passionate and you're applying yourself tenfold. So it's been a roller coaster, but you know, I grew up a small town Texas boy. There was nothing I had that would have said I should have been in the UFC. I should have had 15 fights. I should have won any of those fights the way that I did. There was nothing I had naturally as far as talent-wise in the beginning, except a work ethic and passion and a drive. Like, I was horrible when I got into Taekwondo. Like, it took me a while to learn things, and I was flat-footed and walked like a duck, and my hands were. I couldn't have made a worse example of someone to start out in martial arts. But I just overcame everything, and every time I overcame something, it made me more motivated to overcome something else and something else. And then it was like, I want to achieve this, and if I could beat that guy who's so naturally talented and so had everything going for him when he was born, and he's so physical and all that, that means something. And then I beat that guy, and then it became the next guy, the next event, and the next opportunity, and it just kept going, man.
Would you say that the game is mental or physical?
Mental, 99%, man. Like, you gotta, yeah. I mean, fighting is physical, of course, but your mind is what tells you to keep going or to stop. And I've seen guys that were absolute freaks of nature physically give up in a fight, like, fast, and they weren't even to the point of their body breaking. It's just mentally they gave up. So your mentality drives everything, and I think you have to have a very strong mental fortitude to be successful at anything. Because even work, I mean, I've done work, like, even I did a film one time, and that was hard. You know, I've done work in office related type stuff, and stuff that wasn't physically like exerting, but like it's stressfully exerting. Like, so even if you're passionate about something that's not physically hard, it still drains you. You know, it's still physically draining through the stress and the pressure and whatever it is. So you have to have a good mentality to push through it, like you said, and go past that point of where you think you can go, or that, you know, that passion will carry you a little bit farther than if you weren't passionate and you're like, forget this, I'm done for the day, I'm clocking out, you know.
What would you say was like your career and advancement was like quantum leaps or like incremental steps?
Both. I think incremental steps leads to quantum leaps. It's baby steps always, you know, it's always baby steps. But if you stay on the path and you keep moving forward, that's when doors open. And when a door opens, that's a big leap, right? Like, I've been in positions where, like, I didn't know if I was going to succeed at all. I've failed in businesses, you know, obviously everybody does. And in businesses that have been successful, I've almost failed. And all I did was stay on that path, and I took steps forward every single day. And then those doors open that you don't expect. And they only open because you stayed going forward every day.
Yeah.
If you ever stayed pushing forward into the darkness, into the abyss of what you don't know is ahead, but you're just going forward anyway, those doors will never, you never reach those doors that open up. And then these crazy opportunities open up, and you're like, wow, how did this happen? But this is great, you know, but like, you would have never got there. So for me, it's like, to advise to people that are trying to achieve something, like through me building these gyms and failing, and then finally building AK Thailand. When you get to a point where you lose sight of your path and it's dark and you can't see how you're going to get to your goal like you did in the beginning, just keep moving toward it. And a lot of times people see you doing that and they want to help. And also you, as you're moving forward, you run into things. You just bump into opportunities, you know? So things happen. But when you stop or you turn around, it's like immediately done. Like, you're over. It's over. There's nothing going to happen that's going to help you, and you might have quit right then and there.
And then you only need to start all over again.
I wouldn't even waste my time, because if you're going to quit, then you should just clock in and clock out and do a good job. Because
finish, retire,
yeah. I mean, you're going to have to push through that darkness and push through those barriers and risk everything to be successful. I don't know very many successful people that didn't have huge risks to get there. I mean, you can't usually win success. You can't buy success, obviously. You can't be given success, and it's pretty hard to win it too. So usually there's been some pretty big gambles, and so you need a little everything else, but how you get that luck is by working hard and creating that network and creating that path.
Yeah, if you bet small, the risk is big. If you buy a lottery ticket, you're gonna have to be one in a billion. But if you make a smart investment that gives you only a 5% return, then your money is pretty safe. And yeah, I've been talking to my friend is building an app, and he goes like, just before we were on the call, and he goes like, Luca, I have a special folder on my desktop. It's called haters and non-believers. And this DJ, I send him my my pitch 4 times. He only put it on scene, never opened it. Now that he saw that my company is $3 million valuation, now he's texting me why I didn't text him before. And like for club promoters, because it's something for a club. And I was like, man, I understand, you know, that you're getting, and he was like, fuck them, I will tell them all, blah, blah. I was like, bro, you know, I get you, but look, people will only come and help you when you're going to be doing something. This is natural, you know. Nobody believes in you as much as you believe in yourself. Nobody believes in your product as much as you believe in it. Nobody has the same drive and the energy and the passion for the exact same thing at that moment until either you inspire them or show them that it's possible. So then they start, just like you said, then they want to work with you or for you, right?
Yeah. And they want to just attach themselves to you like suckerfish. That's the thing. Like you haters, you know, there's a difference of haters and people who are opportunists, right? Opportunists can be good, opportunists can be bad. You got your opportunists that are just more calculated, that are going to come around when the opportunity is the best option, that's better for them. Then you got opportunists that are going to come around when it's better for them only and not give you anything back. And then you got the haters, the people that are just completely miserable because they don't have the fortitude and the passion to do what they want to do. So they spend their entire lives trying to bring you down. And then every time you take a stumble, you know, this happens to me, this happens quite recently, but every time you take a stumble or something happens, they come out of the woodwork, you know, they want to,
what happened?
And they want to see you fail. But what they don't understand is like, when you're passionate and you've got everything in line, like, you guys can't make me fail. Like for me in my position right now, I have no boss. You know, I'm the boss of my own company. I own my company. I'm the CEO. I'm the chairman. I got no board behind me. I'm the boss. You know, there's no one that can fire me from my job. So these guys that want to hate and that came through and lost their opportunities with me, or they tried to cheat me or hurt me or whatever they do through my process of building business, and they want to come around either and be friendly to me now, or they want to come around and try and knock me now. It's like it's up to me now. Now I'm driving my own car. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's cool, man. It's a good feeling to know I'm in this position, and it's also, it's good for people out there that are watching this to know that like when you're spending time trying to bring people down, it's instant, just negative. Like, you're not going to be successful. Like, you have to understand that from the start. If your goal is to bring people down and break people and try to be that type of person, there is no room for success in your life. You might as well give up and just go do something else. Because
Mike,
I've just wasted time trying to bring people down that were successful. Like, I can't even imagine that. Like, I can't even imagine. I almost feel bad for those people. You may cause stress for people a little bit, and give them a bad night of sleep or bother them for a few minutes or whatever, get a rise out of them, and then you're nothing. And then you're back to your miserable life. So it's like, do something, find your passion, use that time to find your passion, use that time to do something to better your life instead of trying to bring people down, because I've never seen anybody be successful by bringing people down. I've just never seen.
Mikey, just the word itself says bring people down. That means that you got to go with them. Bro, if I try to bring you down, I got to go there. I don't want to be there.
Down already. I mean, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
But
ahead of you. There's somebody ahead of you trying to bring you down. You know what I mean? Like all my friends, like I try to keep my network, and I've learned this recently too. I'm cleaning my circle. You know, I'm making sure my circle is very, very successful and positive and, you know, inspirational. And my network of people, everybody ahead of me that's more successful than me, that are my friends in my network, they are nonstop trying to help me. Like, they want to help. None of them, or even successful people that I know that may not be my friends, they're still not trying to hurt me or bring me down. And if they do anything,
they're ready to help.
Yeah, if they do anything to acknowledge me whatsoever, it's to help. It's not to bring me down. Because these guys don't waste time on that. They don't have time. They barely have time to get, you know, to be successful and be what they are. They don't have time to knock people down, you know? So it's like, you got to surround yourself by those people, stay in that circle, and get away from the negative suckerfish that slow you down.
You know, you know what I
use this analogy really fast. And I say suckerfish. I know some people probably they're probably wondering why I say that word. I feel like you're a shark when you're a business guy, right? So when you're in business, you're a shark. You're going through the water. You're a killer. You're a shark. And as you become more successful, a bigger shark, you know, more flashy in the water, whatever, you start gaining suckerfish on the side of you, right? Now, one or two doesn't bother you because, I mean, you're a big shark. You don't care about this little, like, sucker fish hanging on the side. It's not going to do anything. But over time, you get more and you get more and you get more. It slows you down. Now you can't swim as fast. Now you can't accomplish as much. And now your image in the water doesn't look the same. It's not as clean. You got all these sucker fish around you, right?
Shit around you.
Image is not the same. You don't look like this movie shark going by. It's like this nice physical specimen of a beast in the water. You look like this fish that's surrounded by all this like weird shit around it. So it's like, that's why I use that analogy of sucker fish. It's like, get rid of them. The second they get attached to you, just cut them immediately. And that's been a big mistake I've made in my past, and a huge piece of advice I would give to people coming up. Get rid of them immediately. Get them out of your life. They're not going to ever help you. You think you're going to change them. You think they're going to change. Get them out of your life.
Yeah, it's a tough job. Probably one of the toughest in the jobs that we have. For me, it's the same. I've been sticking and having people around that were not beneficial, but just, you know, it's like you're trying to help. But like you said before, I think that not only that successful people don't have time to bring somebody else down, but they are happy, man. They're achieving their true potential. They're doing something that makes them greater every day. And you know who you are, that's who you want to hang out with. And when you are happy, you wanna say happy things. When you're miserable, you want to talk shit. You want to be negative about everybody. Nobody's good enough and stuff like that, because you don't feel this about yourself. So I have a rule that I teach all my guys, and it's like, your number one job when you come work for me is, first you gotta feel good, man. You gotta feel good about yourself.
It's good.
And and I think like for you, let's say, because you know you win, you punch that fucking bag, you do that stuff, you know, you keep on winning small things, but people don't put themselves in enough positions to win throughout the day. They don't wake up a little bit earlier in the morning. They don't, you know, do the workout first or a meditation first. They don't do their they don't eat clean, you know what I mean? They don't stick to their commitments and stuff like that. You know, they care more about others than themselves. And of course, you know, you're not winning, you're not happy. We need to thrive, we need to win, we need to conquer, we need to achieve. Not from the ego, but just because, you know, we are expanding creatures. The universe is expanding. Everything, the whole energy is moving in that way.
Right.
So you know Andy Frisella, of course. And yeah, so he has this 75 hard challenge. I did that twice. When I got out of my bad place, and then I had so many traders, because I'm also in trading, following me and following that. That then I redesigned it and make my own like Elevate 32 challenge, which has meditations and quote pools and listening to audios and stuff like that, and staying on the chart and shit. And yeah, that's the number one thing that they need to do. They need to get a solid routine so they can start winning through the day, man. Winning through the day. That's how you build confidence. How else?
Yeah, absolutely. And your body is a very important thing. I mean, you look at how your body changed. I mean, it's a miracle to even have a body and the things that it does, right? And you have to assume that taking care of your body is only going to help you. And so when you see these guys that don't take care of their body and they don't exercise, they don't eat the right foods and stuff like that, that's not going to help you in business or success either. There's a reason like guys like The Rock and Kevin Hart and these guys, they work out so much and they take care of their bodies as well, because it all kind of aligns together. And for me, like, I haven't unfortunately been able to do a lot of training lately, but I still not a lot of training for me is still like a couple, you know, at least a week. But I used to train every day. But it's like, for me, it's like overcoming those. Every time I work out, like you said, it's tenfold when I get into the gym. It's just getting in the gym. So when I put these goals on myself, when I get into the gym, like I'm going to run this amount of distance or do this exercise this amount of times or whatever the case, accomplishing those goals, that's just more goals you're accomplishing each day to build that confidence. And it gets you in that winning you know, zone, like that. You become more accustomed to winning because you're accomplishing things throughout the day, even though it's training or even though it's you're getting up early and changing a routine to help your day better, whatever it is. And you're getting used to winning tasks, and then that evolves into business, and then of course you feel better and you can work longer and smarter, you know, when you're in better health and stuff like that. So I'm definitely agree with you on that, the fitness and the lifestyle is very important, super important, I think.
Yeah, everything connects. What would you say? What would you say is the number one thing that made you like successful? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
For me, it was like I said before, it was the work ethic, and then finding the passion to apply it at such an early stage that I was able to get past being a clumsy, non-talented martial artist into someone that actually got in the UFC and had 15 fights. You know, like, so it was just kind of a little bit of luck finding that at an early age. But I think I strongly believe work ethic, meeting passion, is the key in the beginning. You have to have those two things, and they have to meet and they have to align. And I'd say for me, like you asked me personally, I would say it was finding those things, well, getting those things as far as work ethic, and then finding that passion fast, which put me on the road to the right, you know, on the right track at an earlier age where I could focus and start my way achieving.
What would be the advice that you would give to like an up and coming, let's say, businessman or somebody that wants to become successful in anything?
I would say make sure that, again, going back, I would say make sure whatever you're doing and whatever you're trying to do, you're passionate about. I've seen so many guys come in, and I can relate to this in my aspect, but for fighting, like I've seen so many guys come in and want to be fighters. I have a gym resort, and we have people that aren't fighters, and the majority of people aren't even physically, you know, like high level at all, but they come for the experience, and they lose weight, and they get, you know, feel better. They accomplish these goals, and they create successes. And then we have high level fighters that are in the UFC, you know, so we have a big range of people that train here. But I would say, you know, the majority of people that come through that want to be a fighter, and they're 100% dedicated, they say, and they tell you all this, and they have all this stuff lined out, and they've done all this stuff to prove to you that they're want to be a fighter and going to be the next big thing and going to be a star. They're not. It's not their passion. They're chasing the guys on TV that they see winning fights, and they want to just be them. And it's really not what they want to do. They really don't want to work hard every day in the gym when it's not when there's not girls and money and cars around. They don't really want to do that. They just want the end result. So I would say whatever you're chasing, or you think you're chasing, make sure it's your passion. Like, make sure that you would do it even without the glitz and the glamour. You know what I mean? Like, say you had to do something and you for sure couldn't have the glitz and glamour and money. What would you do every day? Like, if you were in a free world, no money, and there was no, you know, glamour and TV and fame, what would you do every day and still be content every day when you go to bed that you had a fun day and it was fun and it was cool for you? And if you are in that and you find that passion, then go all in, like you said, and hope you have a good work ethic, because there's gonna be a lot of other people you're gonna be, and a lot of them work ethics.
Yeah. Hey, what would be like one advice for a successful person? You know, let's say in your successful times, that was one thing that was a aha moment, and like, fuck, man, that completely changed me from being successful to going to even more.
I'll be honest with you, like recently, it's so cliche to hear this, and you see it all the time with all these guys, the Grant Cardones, the Gary V's, and all these people. It's, you know, the old saying, you're the sum of the 5 people that you hang around and have a good school and all this kind of thing. I would say that is so important. It is super important. It is so important for me right now, where I'm at and where I'm trying to improve myself as a business person and get more successful. It is a huge priority, attaching myself to a more positive and influential network than anything right now. It is a huge priority, because when you're hanging around people that aren't trying to achieve success, you can have friends of all types, of course, but your main people that you want to focus around, if they're not trying to achieve success and they're not successful and you're looking at their success, or they're not trying to bring you up and test you and challenge you, and it's hard. I want those people around me. And I've been kind of in this position where I've had people that weren't like that, and that's hurt me so much that now I'm trying to fix that and get my circle right and get my positive energy right, and keep that going. So I would say, since having some success, that's the big change that I've made, is and being complacent. That would be number one. So before the coronavirus, we were breaking records in my business. I mean, we were killing it. We were like January, February, March breaking records. My business was great. You know, we were packed and things were good and revenue was up. And another thing, when you start becoming successful as a businessman and things start becoming good, I think a lot of people get complacent as I'm talking to other people and finding out that the same happened to them. They get complacent and they stop looking for the problems because they think there are no.
No, we're smooth.
In reality, there's a lot of problems that could still be there. Things are just looking good anyway because you're just having a lot of success. And when this coronavirus hit and things dropped down and I had to actually had time to audit and look back at my business and look at all the different aspects and see where we were and all the logistics and everything, I found out that it like terrified me. It terrified me and made me wonder how we were even doing what we were doing with things the way they were. And it was because and I didn't stop, you know, and say, you know what, things are great, but how can we fix this? Or how can we still make this better? And then I do that to an extent, but I didn't do it enough. And so this has been a big lesson for me with this coronavirus, to have this time to just clean everything up. And I'll never again. I will always 100% be paranoid that something is always still not at the best it can be and be checking. And I think that is something else I think successful people can take from this.
True, 100%. Man, I think this corona actually just filtered, and you know, because people should be doing more anyways at all times. You and me, we should be doing more. You know what I mean? Who says that this is now the limit, or that we are doing enough, or that there is no better way to be doing it? And I think that everybody was just living from paycheck to paycheck. Businesses that don't have enough money backed up, whatever, but that all comes down to, you know, not doing enough, not 10xing everything that you could do, and I think that everybody was just piggybacking until it was like, hey, there is nobody that's gonna help you, and that's the same reason how I started trading forex was because I was in corporate, and the last company was real estate company, and all the time in my life, I'm not saying this, but like the biggest problems that ever got us down were because of other people. You know, I made my mistakes, but my mistakes were not like devastating, right? But other people were doing devastating shit. And when you're in partnerships and stuff like that, you know how hard it is, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to be self-dependent. And then when I started trading for more than a year, bro, I still didn't have that work ethic, you know, because I constantly was thinking like, hey, it gotta come easy, it's gotta come easy, it's gotta come easy. Versus last year, I really decided to change my life, no more drinking, no more nothing, and just go full on hard as a motherfucker. And I really now see that that's the recipe for everything. That's the recipe for happiness. That's the recipe for relationships. That's the recipe for cleaning your body, your mind, making business work. You know, like just the same as this interview. You know how this interview happened? And my assistant had to contact probably 100 or maybe even 1,000 people. You know what I mean? That's just how it is.
Like I stay busy, and in the same sense,
yeah.
A lot of people, I'm always down if I can make the time to do interviews and to do things like this. Like I'm as busy as I've been ever, you know, with this coronavirus going on, but I'm still going to do interviews. I'm still going to take opportunities. I'm still going to, because there's stuff I can take from you, and there's stuff I can take from this interview. And I'm always doing stuff. Whereas you get a lot of people that just feel like, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to do that, or I'm too busy for that. And
I'm too big for that.
Yeah, I'm always down to do everything I can because it's all going to help me. And, you know, if you hit this coronavirus and it hurt your business and it hurt you in any way and you slowed down, that's your sign right there that your work ethic needs to change, because you should have been speeding up. Like, you should have been taking this time that you're allowed to have right now.
Exactly.
Because there's not a lot else to do, and like you said, 10xing everything. Like I had a podcast that died. I let it die because I was so busy and I was so swamped with work, and I just brought it back to life. Like immediately when the coronavirus happened, the second my gym got shut down by the Thai government and we lost our customers, I started doing podcasts literally immediately, and probably have done 40 in the past 4 months. So it's like with fixing the problems with the business and doing interviews and doing marketing and media and making our improvements in all of our marketing and media and SEO and website. And social media and stuff. Like if you're not going harder now with this hardship we're faced with, you should check your work ethic, because this is when you should be doing it. This is the time that, you know, I'm not saying it's a great thing that happened, but this is
No,
an
yeah.
opportunity you don't always get to reset yourself and to improve your business. And if you plan to survive anyway, don't start back where you left off. I mean, that's the dumbest thing I've ever. If you start back where you left off after this for 5 months,
You're 5 months back.
you just lost 5 months that you could have 10x your business to a whole nother level. When we start back here at AK Thailand, we are going to be levels ahead of where we've ever been in every single department and every single piece of our business. And that's because we're going full on right now, and we're taking advantage of this time, because time, as you know, I'm sure, is the most valuable thing in the world. You know, you got Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, who are the richest guys in the world, right? And Elon Musk is one of the smartest guys in the world. But guess what? They have the same amount of time in their day as we do. You're only granted so much time. So how you use that time is essentially one of the most important things in not only your life, but in your business's life and in life in general, right? In creating success. So if you're sitting around and wasting time, that time is more valuable than money. Time is more valuable than everything. If you're wasting that, you might as well be throwing money in the trash. You might as well be throwing success in the trash. You might as well be throwing your business in the trash. Like it's just a complete waste. So when I get time and I lose business and the customers slow down and I get a break, I'm going to take advantage of it. And that's what I've been doing. And I think that's what the smartest guys have been doing, that are going to come back strong from this. And they're going to be the guys that are going to be levels above where they were before this pandemic hit. And I think they're going to really showcase.
It's billionaires are made in a recession, in the crisis. Hey, when you said save on time and stuff, bro, you know, like my house is kind of small. It's not that big. But if I would go now from this table to grab something in my bedroom, I would scan and think, okay, I can take this with me and throw it in the trash on the way. I can take this pen because I'm gonna need it there next hour by the bed, and I can clean up my t-shirts and put it in my, you know, I would do all of this stuff in one move. You know what I mean? It became so fucked up that a lot of times I'm late, bro. I'm just few minutes late because I pack all the shit. And if I go from here to there in the city, I take my watch to the service. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do this. So it's crazy, man.
There's a reason why your most successful people are running on such tight schedules. I mean, they have it down to a minute, you know, like sometimes like these guys that are really successful and doing really big jobs, like it's down to the minute every day. Like they don't waste a minute of their time. You know, it's like it comes down to it. For me, I'm not that successful where like a minute is as valuable, but there's guys
have some time.
Right. That, like The Rock, for instance, I mean, like an hour of his day, how much is that worth? Like, think about that for a second. Like, how much is 30 minutes of his day worth? It's worth a lot. I mean, he calculates down to the minute to get the stuff
People
done.
never think like that. Even to me, I got the chills a little bit now, bro, because I never think of it like this. I should check my fucking money and check how much my hour is worth. And then I'm going to see if I'm really going to fucking waste it.
I do it all the time, man. Like, time is
that's so good. This is my big takeaway.
We only have time, brother. That's it. And once it's over, it's over.
Hey, tell me one thing. What's the book that had the most influence on you?
How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I think it goes probably along with, I mean, obviously Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is very good too. But I'm a big believer in people, like being a people person, and like Dale Carnegie. I mean, that book is just amazing. You have to read that book anyway, if you're a business guy. But that's a first book that really like changed how I treat people. And when I started treating people different, that's when I started getting a lot better of a circle and a network. And when the circle that I have, that network of successful people, I have billionaires in my network, I have millionaires, I have celebrity, whatever the case. The people that I know that are at the top and way higher than I am, the one thing they do all have and share is that positive attitude and that likability factor that Dale Carnegie preaches so much.
People's person, yeah.
They're not only nice and sociable themselves, but they're putting value in you when they talk to you. They're making you feel special every time And that carries so much when you're talking to other people and you're doing businesses and you're making deals. Giving people value is so important. I think it's super.
Is this called reciprocity? Is that the word? When you first give and then eventually
Yeah.
you anyways get back?
Like I always like to give value and not be in debt to people. Like I love, like even my friends that are millionaires and billionaires, I like to do things for them and not let them do things for me as much as possible. It becomes my goal. It's not because, like, I mean, they're richer and more successful than me and can afford dinner or they can afford whatever, but I like to do things to put myself in a place where I'm not in debt to people and almost want to have that value there with them. You know, it's just a habit that I like to do. I don't like to be like the opposite of that. I think it's very, very bad. And
I come from, Slovenia, and that's Balkan, bro. That's like Serbia, Croatia, Montenegro, Bosnia. It's like tough people, bro. And like this underground is like the biggest there. Man, it's like a rule that the guys have, and it's like that always you always need people to owe you a favor, that you are measured, your value is measured by how many people owes you a favor. And it's not a like a contractual shit, but
right.
it's like moral commitment, and I think this really works the best. And if maybe this sounds now that we're, I don't know, like calculating who we want to help and shit like that, but eventually, even if somebody's gonna start like this, they're quickly gonna pick up that, hey, this makes me happy. You know what I mean? Giving makes me happy, so I'm gonna give more. People, I think that is also the saying that you can never give so much that you could be poor, right?
Yeah, and I'll say this, like, there's nothing you can ever give to somebody more successful to you or more rich than you, that's more value than what they're going to give back to you after you give them that. Does that make
You
sense?
just go like this.
I don't mean like in a monetary way, like you buy dinner, they're going to buy you a watch or something like that. But I'm just saying, when you pay it forward to people that are bigger than you, they pay it forward bigger back to you, and keep paying it forward bigger back to them. You know what I mean? Like, and then you've got 99 people that are just the mooches, right? They just go around, and if you make more money than them, you're getting dinner. You're paying for this, and then, oh man, I forgot my wallet. Those guys, like, those are the people you don't.
And they never want to give nothing back. Yeah, doesn't matter how much you're gonna give.
Yeah, that's the difference of what you were saying is calculating the value back and forth. And so I never want to feel in debt to people. I never want to feel like I owe somebody something. I don't care if they're way richer than me, way more successful than me. I want to always be giving. And like you said, it makes you feel better too. It makes you feel successful, and you are how you feel sometimes, and like you want to do things for people, and you'll find that it helps you out. It helps your path a lot. It makes your path a lot more smooth when you have that positive giving, Dale Carnegie kind of mentality.
Yeah, but you really have to come from the abundance mindset, not from scarcity. A lot of people is just so controlled and manipulated from the masses and from the people around them that, even I, like, my parents was teaching me give, but I know there were some moments in my life that I was giving so much, and then some people influenced on me saying, hey, why are you throwing money away? Why are you doing all of this stuff? And I was like, I feel good. But then they were like, watch if these people are really your friends. And then what I would go and do, and I would like test people, and I was like, hey, instead of go to get my car in somewhere near, I would be like, hey, go get my car fucking 300 kilometers away. And the guy would be like, bro, but I really don't have time today. I have to work. And I would be like, yeah, I knew it. This guy's not my friend. You know what I mean? Like, so I think this is a universal law that we should fucking follow, and not let no small minds around us influence you on thinking differently. Because all the greats are anyway saying this. But until I was trying to, when you are younger or maybe not so successful, you get an idea and you want to tell your best friend, and then you want to tell your mom, and then you want to, like, convince people around you that this is good.
Yeah.
And then you don't do shit because everybody says that this is not good and that's not gonna work and you cannot do this and blah blah blah. When I start being silent about my things
Yeah.
before I started them and not speak to nobody, man, everything exploded because I started doing shit that I want to do.
Yeah, it makes sense. And like I said, you got to pick who you give that value to. You know, you give it to the people, the wrong people, then yeah, that's why I give up. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking to give value to people that are in that on group of mine, in a network. You know what I mean? Like the people that are the positive, successful. You can't sit around spending all your time trying to bring people up who aren't trying to bring themselves up. You know what I mean? So it's like
100%. This is the
I think that
most.
you were helping bring your friends up that didn't really, you know, you're just being charitable to people who aren't going to give you anything back, and we've all made that mistake, trust me. So yeah, you got to be careful with who you give the value to, but you can definitely give it to the wrong people, and that hurts you too. And that was a mistake I made multiple times, definitely in my life.
Yeah, but look, before you get the skill, you gotta fail a few times. So I would just say, guys, you know, not go all out, but just be generous. Be generous, you know, share the love, share the joy, and man, you know, I'm smiling here. You start smiling, man. You know what I mean? And that makes me smile. That's how it works. Hey, what is the product you're currently working on?
I got AK Thailand here in Phuket. So it's a gym resort here in Phuket, and the podcast, and I'm working on some other stuff, some startups that I'm doing. But my passion right now is AK Thailand, the gym resort here. It's the second largest sports combat facility in the world, and
Seriously?
It's on an island here
it's
in
no joke.
southern Thailand and Phuket, southern Phuket actually too. And it's incredible. Yeah, it's a great project, and you know, it's cool to have a job where you can be successful while making people successful. You know, it's like I don't have a job or where I'm scamming people or, you know, doing crazy stuff like that. Like my job is very fulfilling in many ways. You know, I've managed to be lucky enough to have a passion and a job where I can be successful, I can make money, and I can achieve all kinds of success in all different areas while creating success for everybody else, where people can come in and create their own successes by having experiences, losing weight, you know, having fights, winning fights, building careers. You know, we're building careers of fighters now. That I got a fighter in the UFC he's about to start his journey like I did, you know, in 2004. He's starting out now, and he's way more hyped than I was, you know. So we're talking
and he's probably got better support and more experience around him, right? Because you've been there.
Well, the lucky thing for this guy is he has the dream gym that I built that I wanted to have for myself, and that's the reason I built it. But it was too old by the time I built the gym to actually use it for my career. So as I was growing up, this gym that I have is the gym that I envisioned in my head. Like, man, if I had this, and this, and one location, and this here in Thailand, this would be the ultimate place I could have had to build my career and be successful. It just took me to 40 years old to have it exactly where I wanted. But now I have these young guys coming in, and it's like, you know, you have a huge head start now. You really dream gym in a dream location, and a pretty substantial team, and you know, management and coaching and trainers behind you to get you where you need to get, that a lot of us didn't have, you know, and we still made it. So it's good to see that journey and live it with them.
Bro, I'm smiling to the ears because you're describing what I'm doing in Forex. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the same things. What I would want when I was fucking struggling. That's what I put together. All for you, it's a gym. For us, it's a psychiatrist. You know what I mean? For you, it's a personal trainer. For us, it's maybe a mentor or a strategy and stuff like that. You know, and I really like people like to keep their secrets, which I'm sure that in every business it's like that. But I flipped it a little bit around and just probably like you do that. You know, you can give all of your secrets and tips and tricks, because if these people are successful, they make you even more successful, right?
Right. Yep. You're right.
That brings the most happiness, man. That brings the most happiness. I wish that on all people, eh?
That's good. That's good, man.
So, brother, thank you so much.
Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem, brother. Take care.